Hi, I'm Mike Burke from Elmhurst, Illinois. I play at Cog Hill. Welcome to Golf Smarter.
Hi, this is Tommaso Johnson in Seattle, Washington, and I play at the Links at Interbay. This is Golf Smarter 1013.
All it takes is confirming that you have the read right, and now you're playing with confidence. That's what the app is all about. The GolfLogix app experience is really about playing with confidence, playing with precision, playing with intelligence. How do you get out there and just see the course, have that vision when you're standing on the tee, when you're making that approach on the green? Once you get pretty good at reading these green maps and approach, and let's not forget about approach, it's every bit as important as the green. Like when you get to see the green from the approach and where the pin is, your course management gets way better and you certainly score lower. And so once you get good at that, you can literally walk up behind your ball, whether you're using the phone, the book, the watch, and just take a very quick look, and you'll never walk the putt again. And it's not cheating. Most of us don't get to play with a caddy. All this is allowing any amateur to play without having the caddy behind him. But it's like someone whispering in your ear, "Hey, Fred, this putt's a little uphill. I want you to hit it like 2 feet past, and it's going to move right to left. I know your little rotten eyes are telling you left or right, but this is a right to lefter."
Revolutionizing your golf experience using the GolfLogix app with the founder, Pete Charleston.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Pete.
Hello, Uncle Fred. Good to be back on the show.
Okay, you can get away with that, right? Pete is friends with one of my nephews, and who always, even in his 50s, calls me Uncle Fred, which is adorable. And so he introduces me when I go out to Arizona and I visit him and we go out and play at Arizona Country Club. He always introduces me as Uncle Fred. So all his buddies call me Uncle Fred.
Got to go with Uncle Fred. I want to be adorable too.
You are, buddy. So this is the third time that you've been on Golf Smarter. First time we met on the show was, well, the first time you were introduced to the Golf Smarter community was in November of 2019, and then you returned in June of 2020. So it's great to have you back 5 years later to talk about what you guys claim to be the number one app in golf, and it's GolfLogix with an X.
With an X. Yeah, it's great to be back on. Yeah, a lot has happened in 5 years. We're always moving and shaking and trying to change things and tweak things. And, I think we made another, big step since we spoke last.
I'm so excited to hear about it. I've just returned from 3 weeks on vacation, not thinking about golf, letting everything publish on its own, which I set up ahead of time, including that great Jim Nantz piece. So now here I am, my head's back. As soon as I got back, the first thing I told my wife I wanted to do is I need to go play some golf. I mean,
of course,
it's like I need to just go hit something. And so I was able to play a couple times and bring out the GolfLogix app, the new version, except I didn't have the upgrade available to me. So I still used it. And we'll talk about the details of that in a few minutes, but I want to go back and talk about other things that's been going on because this is a fascinating story. You were a golf app, playing app, way ahead of the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. So my partner and I started this in 1999. So we are definitely we are old school for the golf industry. 25 years here, and we were actually the first company to do a handheld GPS for golf. We ended up partnering with Garmin. We were selling systems, handheld systems to golf courses all around the world. We had Pebble and Valderrama and Mission Hills in China. I traveled all over the world. And
wow.
But we realized that the consumers, that we wanted to get in the consumers' hands. And, at the time, using electronic measuring devices, they're illegal according to the rules
Absolutely.
of golf. So technically, you couldn't post a handicap.
Yeah, and it was probably also 7-8 years before the iPhone came out and the whole app ecosystem happened.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe
So there
10
was,
years before the ecosystem happened.
yeah. So this device we had with Garmin, it was great, but it was ahead of its time. And, back then, if you asked somebody, you put 10 people in a room and said, what does GPS stand for? I'd say maybe one, if they were a pilot or like a high end yachtsman.
Right.
Other than that, they're just the personal navigation devices. They weren't out. The car nav wasn't there
Nope.
when we started this. So now it's just, GPS is everywhere you look, and everybody knows exactly what it is and what it does.
Well, they made it easy for you, Pete.
Our business model definitely improved after the GPS did, for sure.
Yeah. And then you went through, so keep going with that evolution of how technology caught up with you.
Yeah, we kept slugging away and putting these things on golf courses, and I think we realized that this was not the model that was gonna, put my kids through college. I actually didn't have kids back then, but
now you're getting close to college.
Yeah, now I do. Yeah, I got to actually think about it. But in 2006, the USGA changed that stance, and they allowed electronic measuring devices, and so we went back to our shareholders like, hey, we need to raise more money. Let's go out. Let's put this at retail. And in 06, we kind of transitioned into this, to the consumer market, and had 3 just amazing years of explosive growth. We were on the Golf Channel. If you remember, they used to have the old 30-second infomercial, and for the older members in your audience, like me, you, we had Costas and McCord, and they were yucking it up, and we spent more money on the Golf Channel in 2 years than almost anybody on these infomercials, and
wow.
it was a special time. We were just cranking. We were in tons of golf courses. We were in all the major sports retailers, and things were going great. And then 08, Arizona felt it because we're a real estate, city, country, or state, and we kind of heard about the first phone that was going to come out with GPS, and we're like, I don't think people are going to keep buying this with this downturn. We need to find a better solution. And sure enough, we went to our shareholders and said, hey, we need more money, and I know we're doing the best we've ever done. It's time to pivot. We need to be on a phone, because then that's going to be in everyone's pocket. And so we ended up being the first company to launch, on a smartphone. And funny enough, it was BlackBerry, the BlackBerry Curve that we launched on, with this little, screen about yay big, and
chiclet keypad.
Yeah, little keypad, but it was a touch screen, which was a treat
Huge
for us, because we were using, we didn't have touchscreen with our prior handheld devices, and and then Apple came right behind it with their first phone, and we just took off again, and had this incredible run, through the, call it all the way up to like 16, and in 2016 we saw the first tour players out on the green, and they're holding a book on the green. We couldn't figure out what they were doing. Because we know you have yardage books, right? They've had them for as long as you can remember. They've had little hand-drawn yardage books, and they're out referencing.
Right.
But this is the first time you start seeing people out on the green, and you're like, they're looking at their caddy, and we're like, what do they have? And we got a hold of one and realized that they had mapped all the green contours, and they had arrows and contours. And so we're going, oh, wow, like this is something that no one else has. Like, this is the pot of gold. Most everybody, including me, struggle reading greens. Yeah. And, here you give the opportunity for every player to feel like they have a caddy standing behind and reading their putt. And it took us a long time to figure out how to harness. It was a newer technology to harness this technology, and not only harness it. So we created something that, gave really viable putting feedback, but to actually put it in an app with a user interface that people could work with. Like, at first we're like, oh, we got it. And then people are like, I don't even know what this means.
Yeah.
Like,
It was brand new information.
Yeah. People had never seen, the greens. And, we were the first company to launch, in the app with these green contours and these, we call them heat maps, which basically show the elevation. So, kind of in ours, the red and orange and yellow are kind of the real, 5, 6, 7, 8 slope. And then, as you get down to the blue and white, that's your real flat areas. and it was immediate. I mean, people were like, "Oh wow, this is just different." Um, and then what's crazy is the last time we talked in 2020, uh, as a byproduct of this in-app experience with greens, we had so many people reach out and say, I love this, but I don't like taking my phone to the green. Can you give me a paper version of it?" And we're like, yeah, we're a software company. We don't do paper, and it just
Paper?
kept, but I mean, it just kept going and going and going. And we're like, all right, there's something to this. And, yes. And so we're like, great, let's give it a try. Well, of course we reach out. At the time in 2020, no one was doing print on demand one, right? You know, we Fred,
That's
you want to order
expensive.
the course down the street and you want to order one. I can't stock it because there's 18,000 courses just in the US. And
Sure.
so we had to figure out this inline printing solution that would take an order, send it through the system, kick a book out the other end, have the shipping software, put it in an envelope and ship it, right? Fulfill it all like in the same day. So we had to build it ourselves, which was an experience. And that's when I was talking to you last time. We had just built this crazy
If I
shipping
remember
operation.
if I remember correctly, with a very expensive printing press.
Oh yeah, we had these paper cutters and these binders that would like fold and staple. I mean, it was a very interesting time, and I packed a lot of boxes and made a lot of trips to the post office. As all
How
entrepreneurs
20th
do.
century of you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, but ultimately it went so well that we ended up getting, we found a fulfillment company that could actually do it. Like, take this off our hands, like,
Please.
because then you can scale. And so since then, we've done an amazing job, with these green books. The app has continued to be incredibly successful, and finally, we actually did our first major app overhaul. We just redid the entire thing and launched in late April. So it's been a long time coming, but very exciting.
So the books are still happening. You're still doing those. And you've sent me but I was like, wait a minute, I got a book here for the course that I play all the time. And I guess for country club players, which I'm not, but I have a favorite course. How often do they pull that out? It's like, yeah, I got this. Are they still using the books?
That's our target demographic.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Most, and I am now, I'm going to say it, I'm absolutely addicted to having, my green book. And we actually, we'll talk about it today, but I have it on the watch as well now, which is even better. But I'm addicted to having that with me at all times. Now, It's at Arizona Country Club, which you've played. The green breaks are very subtle. But I probably break between my watch and my green book 7-8 holes a day. I'm just not sure. And all it takes is confirming that you have the read right, and now you're playing with confidence. And that's what this is all about. That's what the app is all about. The GolfLogix app experience is really about, playing with confidence, playing with, precision, playing with intelligence. How do you get out there and just, see the course, have that vision when you're standing on the tee, when you're making that approach on the green. That's what this whole new thing's all about.
Well, it's perfect because that's what this game's all about. You play with confidence, you play better. It's that simple, because how often do you stand over a shot going, I'm not so sure about this. You feel it, your tension all the way down your body, and your head's dictating, I'm going to make a mistake here. So playing with confidence, anything you can get is awesome. Now, is it legal? Tell me where we are with that and what's going on these days.
Everything in our app is legal. The green books are 100% compliant. We don't make any non-compliant green books. You can use those in any tournament where they're allowed. And so we've got junior golfers, the best junior golfers in the country are buying these books. We got high school, college. We've got people playing in their buddies member guest. They're definitely out there and everywhere. The app, the one difference in our app, and we're with this relaunch, we stripped out the ability to turn off the non-compliant features, but we're going to put it back in here shortly. We just had to get the app live. But the only thing that you cannot do, which is a really cool feature, by the way, when you're on the green, we built a physics engine that allows you to basically, tap the screen, here's the cup, and then here's the ball. And then you hit read my putt, and it runs a physics engine and will predict the perfect putt. And so it'll tell you right on the screen, just like a caddy would, hey, I want you to aim 12 inches short and one ball left.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Now you're putting Aimpoint and everybody else out of business. That's incredible.
Remind me to talk about Aimpoint. I want to come back to that after
I'll
we get through this. But
Aimpoint. Okay. I'm glad I brought it up.
But amazing technology. And which, by the way, you don't need it. I mean, once you get pretty good at reading these green maps and approach, and let's not forget about approach. Like it's every bit as important as a green. Like when you get to see the green from the approach and where the pin is, your course management, gets way better, and you certainly score lower. But
you can really pinpoint your distances at that point, right?
Yep. And so once you get good at that, you can literally walk up behind your ball, whether you're using the phone, the book, the watch, and just take a very quick look, and you'll never walk the putt again. You literally, and it's not cheating. Most of us don't get to play with a caddy, right? All this is allowing any amateur to play without having the caddy behind him. But it's like someone whispering in your ear, hey, Fred, hey, Uncle Fred, I want you to, this putt's a little uphill. I want you to hit it like 2 feet past, and it's going to move right to left. I know your little rotten eyes are telling you left to right, but this is a right to lefter. So it's.
But you don't have an AI voice talking to me, right? No, I'm just looking at the screen.
Should. I better send out that patent on that. Yeah.
I'd love to be the voice of that. Hey, this is Uncle Fred. And your putt's going to break from left to right about 4 inches.
Yeah. Don't mess this up. Trust the read.
Absolutely. Trust the read. I need to go back to something because I'm really curious about this. When you first saw somebody with a book that had the greens, mapped out, and you were like, what is that? You said, we found somebody whose book we can look at. Who was it?
Oh, we can't tell you that, but we did we did get a hold of one, and it was hard, getting one, but once you saw it, we were like, oh wow. Now I will tell you this: when we saw it, I'm over 50 as well, and my eyes don't work quite as good as they used to, but the green books that we saw were like, oh no, we're going to make these things readable for people over the age of 50 as well. So we made bigger arrows and bolder
Good
colors.
For you.
Like, it was very difficult to decipher, but most tour pros are, in their 20s and 30s,
Yeah, right. Right.
So it's same with the caddies. So that was the only subtle tweak we made there.
So where does this information come from? Because you can't go out and map every single green. I mean, it's mapping courses is one thing, and getting the GPS data on distances, that's great from, Google or wherever it comes from. But where do you get the distances, elevation change, directions, all that information for greens? How do you acquire that?
There's a bunch of different
13,000 courses.
Yeah. We're almost to 20. I think we're a little over 20,000 now worldwide.
Wow. Amazing.
But there's a bunch of different techniques. One of them is actually you do go to the course with a scanner. You do go to the course with a drone. And then there's, other solutions where you have, low flying aircraft, that use this technology called LiDAR that captures this incredible data. I mean, it really truly is, if you leave the flagstick in, you see it. Like if you left, a golf ball on the ground, that's the kind of elevation you can actually see. It's that detail. And so, when you're looking at these greens and you're not trusting me and you're like, Pete, I don't believe in your, I don't believe in your greens. It's, in the centimeter type of accuracy. And so
Wow.
it's your eyes that aren't lining you up correctly. And that's the art form here. The first few times you got to look at it. Oh, and a helpful hint is imagine you're standing behind your ball. You're looking at your read. You're looking at the pin. If you poured a giant bucket of water on the green, where would the water run off to?
Not even
That's
a giant bucket, just a cup.
Yeah, you
just
just
a cup
need
of water.
You just need to get your brain to like, oh, so those arrows, if it's going, slightly out to right and coming back to the left, that means it's a little right to left breaker. If you're seeing the arrows point towards you, that's an uphill putt. If you're seeing the arrows point away from you, that's a downhill putt. And then it varies depending on how much those arrows are turning and pointing.
We learned from on Golf Smarter years ago from a golf course architect. And I'm like, I remember asking him, people say it breaks to the water, it breaks to the ocean, it breaks to the mountain. Is that true? And they went, no, it's all about irrigation. You can't have a flat green because you have to have the water roll off somewhere. So it's all about where the water would go if you're pouring a glass of water or something, but it's all about where the water is for irrigation purposes to get the water off the green.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot of courses where you're right, where, oh yeah, this breaks towards the city, this breaks towards the water. It does until it doesn't. Until the architect took that green and, made it look like it's going like this, and yet it's actually uphill. You see it all the time, and it looks like a downhill putt, and it's actually uphill. And that's because the architect, this is what he did. And, this doesn't lie. This tells you exactly what the ground does. So whether you're approaching from the fairway, or you got a pitch shot, or you got a chip shot, a bunker shot, or you're putting on the green, what's going on up there. And that will help you shave a ton of strokes off your game.
And you're saying that the information that you get on the app, you'll also, if you have an Apple Watch, or I guess if this works Android and Apple?
Yes. So we launched on Apple first, and that's kind of our testing ground. And I know I was on a call last Friday morning, I believe our development call. And I think by mid to late this month in June,
June of 2025, we will have the Android done as well. Okay. So you're telling people when we recorded this, because they won't be hearing this probably till August, but that's okay. Well, great. Now, what kind of impact? One of the things that I get frustrated about when I'm using an app, and then it also works on my phone, is my watch battery dies by the 13th hole. They're real battery drains. Yeah, and when we launched, let's back up to 2009 when we came out on the first smartphone. Battery issue was huge. Back then, like they hadn't figured out the batteries, and you had to come up with all these solutions to protect the golfer and their battery, and so they had a great user experience. I will tell you now, if you've got a problem with your battery on your phone now with Golf GPS or any app for that matter, you need to get a new phone, because the new phones they don't have any battery issues. Watch. If you have an iPhone 10, it's time to 11, 12, upgrade. 13, or 14. It's time to upgrade. Yeah, yes, it is what it is. But with respect to the watch, again, now we've got a new problem we're solving for. The newer ones, as you get into the bigger ones, the ultras, those things, the battery life is really good, and they're going to continue to get better and better. But just know we're continually working on different methods and features and color palettes and things that will bring the brightness down, but yet you still be able to see. We're definitely always thinking about the user interface and how to make that experience work. Were you a serial entrepreneur leading up to 1999 when you launched this the first time? Were you dabbling in all these different things? Where did you come from? Fred, I've never had a job, which is good or bad, I guess. I don't know. My resume is,
kind of funny. But no, before we started this, my partner Scott and I, we created a company called Premium Cigars International. We were part of this group that launched the product. We were the first company to put premium cigars in humidors in convenience stores across the country.
Oh,
Yeah,
smart.
yeah.
What made
It
you
was.
think of that? Wait, are you NBA guys or no?
Yeah, I
Right?
love NBA. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That's fascinating.
yeah.
That's fascinating. And since '99, when you started GolfLogix, has that been totally your focus?
Yeah.
Are you still dabbling in other ideas?
No, this is. I mean, as you can see, as we've talked through all these different pivots we've made over the years, this
Sure.
is.
And investors and
Oh yeah, all the things that you're navigating on a daily basis. There's not a lot of time left to go out and come up with other crazy ideas. But as long as we're continually creating and building and innovating, um, in things like I know we'll get into it, but this new 3D view that we came out with in our app, it's freaking crazy. Like
it,
it's crazy. Like when you look through the screen and you see what's in front, you're like, oh wow, it's definitely the wow factor.
it definitely is. Now, just before we started recording, you helped me upgrade
Yeah.
to the premium model. And since I live next to a golf course, I was able to just like tap right into it. And you've got a 360-degree view. If you're holding your phone up, you can turn your body all the way around and see everything with shot direction. It's really remarkable. Oh, look, there's the Milky Way. No, that's not on there, but
We
it's a
left that
different
out.
app. Yeah. Good idea. You don't want to put the stars in there.
It's your strong app. Yeah.
We will break down the new functions and features of this 3D amazing GolfLogix app, but I need to get to Aimpoint. Is now the time? Can I ask you about Aimpoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because you said, "Oh, this is going to put Aimpoint out of business," and I would say it's actually the opposite. We know the folks at Aimpoint, um, and I know a lot of people that use their great system. Right? I mean, you have to spend some time to learn the system, but if you learn their system, you are a better putter. You're a better putter. Like there's no doubt about it. And one of the things that's hardest in their learning process is you gotta, you kind of get the slope, and you're holding a series of fingers up and you come up with a number. Well, we have the number, and there's a setting actually in the GolfLogix app where you can actually lay instead of having, just the arrows and the contours, you can actually drop in the slope percentages. So you can look actually what the slope is between you and the ball. So I would say this is actually a friend of of
it's
Aimpoint.
Aimpoint Plus.
Yeah. We solve one of the problems that you need to solve to be able to do the rest of it that is important with Aimpoint. So no, they're great.
Awesome. So tell me about some of the testimonials that you get about people who are just blown away by using this app.
Well, I have to start with the inverse first, and only because we're in the heat of it right now. But when we haven't done a major app, overhaul in probably 6 years, right?
Right.
You get a lot of people. Imagine we have hundreds of thousands of people using our app on any given weekend.
Congratulations.
And thank you. But when you change is not always easy.
No.
So
especially for golfers.
Oh boy. So the first wave of feedback is never good. It's always the people that are like, they're just, and you're like, yeah, our customer. No, and I get it. Change is hard, but just know we're just trying to make a better app experience, and we're not going to nail it in the first month or the first 2 months. Right. I mean, we do all of our testing, and, we've got focus groups and all these different people out trying before we launch, but you can't predict what you really don't know. And it takes a lot of rounds. But the feedback is valuable. When someone calls and said, okay, why are you saying that? Oh, we didn't think of it that way. Okay. What if we tweak this? So we do a lot of active work with people that call in to complain, and we turn them into, coach us up. How do we make it better?
Right.
And we
Yeah. I mean,
learn.
how much can you learn when somebody goes, I love this. Thank you.
I mean, it does feel
Right?
good. Don't get me wrong, Fred. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you don't make any
Yeah.
changes. You don't just
No.
we go like, ooh, we're good today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you buy it? Okay, fine. We're great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we do and have, with our Apple reviews and this and that, but we're able to reach out and work with these folks and understand their logic. And, some of it is unreasonable. And, others were like, wow, what a great idea. That's not hard to do. We're going to fix that. So, I mean, anybody that's got our app, you're going to see updates certainly within the first 3 months after a launch. I mean, we're throwing an update out every 2 weeks, at a bare minimum,
Wow.
I mean, because it's just, and there are a lot of times it's just real little things. One of the things that, my feedback, the watch is going live this week with the new build. And, I was using the test build and I'm like, this is too small. I know you wanted to jam all this information on here, but I'm telling you, I don't wear my glasses when I'm out playing, and I'm wearing polarized, sunglasses, and I can't see these numbers. And they're like, oh, and a lot of our developers are, 20s, 30s, and early 40s, and they're like, what do you mean you can't see it? I'm like, well, you just wait. I want to sound like that old guy.
Yeah, right. Don't worry. Don't wait while you're working on it.
Yeah.
Get to it now.
Yeah.
Just trust me on this one.
Yeah. So I mean, those are the type of real kind of deep dives we take into the user interface.
I want to talk about my user experience with it. Again, I was not using the upgraded version yet, but it's still using the latest version of the free app. And let's let everyone know there's a free app here at GolfLogix.com or on your app store, wherever you get it. But I was telling you that I played a couple rounds this week and I was using it, and I compared it with the stats that I got from Arccos, which I don't have to pay attention to, right? I have the Arccos tabs on my clubs. And so at the end, I wanted to look back and see how it compared. And because Arccos is really detailed.
Yeah.
And it's very good, but it's a whole different kind of system, right?
Very different.
Very, very different. But statistically, you guys were right on the money as far as my score, fairways, greens in regulation, number of putts. But you gave me things like how many missed putts, how many greenside bunkers, how many pitches, how many, like things like that, where on a simple look at the end of the round, all this information is like, that's really valuable stuff. I loved that.
Yeah, and Arccos has been in the game a long time, and
yes, they have.
They've done a great job building their technology. Their technology has a lot to do with learning after you play, right? Like going back and looking at. They've made a seamless way for you to collect a lot of performance data while you're out there, club distances and such. And so when you're done, you're actually able to look at it in a lot of different new and unique ways. Our primary goal has been, how do I help you while you're on the course? Right. And so I'm trying to make you smarter while you play. I'm trying to help you lower your score while you're playing the game of golf. And we do offer, a number of, we get real deep. If you start, we default only the 4 things on, but if you click on the expanded, like you must have done it, like you can get down, you can get really down in the nitty gritty and track a tremendous amount of things out there. And then you get a look at it afterwards. So I feel like we're the best of both worlds, but we don't at this time, and not to say we won't here in the future, but we don't auto track your shots, right? We're not telling you, you actually have to just tap the screen on the tee box, tap the screen on the fairway, if you want your distances. Whereas, a company like Arccos is, it's swing detected.
Right. Okay. So may I make a suggestion?
Please.
Not a criticism, But when you have when I'm entering the data of the score, if I was in a bunker or if I hit the fairway, enter that data at the end of each hole, which is not a problem. And I'm looking forward to doing that on my watch if possible. But on the greens, when you're finished, it asks you about did you go left of the hole, right of the hole, above the hole, or below the hole?
Right.
And it kind of confused me because here I am on a downhill putt that went long. Am I above the hole or am I below the hole? Right? Because now I'm coming back, so I'm now below the hole. So I would have preferred, my suggestion, and do whatever you want with this, is long or short.
Yep.
Versus above or below.
Okay. No, it's funny. It's great feedback. What the goal of what we're trying to achieve is, are you leaving the putt short? Are you hitting them long? Are you missing to the right? Are you missing to the left? But maybe the terminology could be improved to where, it's.
Yeah. I mean, I had a very long downhill putt.
Yeah.
Right. That I left 3 feet past the hole. So I'm
which by the way, is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I was happy with the putt.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. I 2-putted on a 70-foot putt, my first one. But, and what I found out is 2 of the people I was playing with had bets on how far I was going to be from the hole. Cause we were on 14th, 15th hole at that point, and I was hitting my lag shots pretty well.
Yeah.
And then this guy I had you at 7 feet and you were at 6. So that's pretty good. But anyway, now I am below the hole going up, but I went long. So I didn't know, was that above the hole? I didn't know how to respond to that.
I already locked that in, and those, things like that are very easy, right? That's a labeling change.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's one word. Yeah.
It's not a true UI change where we have to redevelop something. It's like, hey, how about our terminology is, long, short. Did you miss long, short, right or left?
Left or right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't have a lot of criticisms about this app. And I've used a lot of golf apps. We featured a lot of golf apps on this show. And I'm really impressed with this one. Well, you call me Uncle Fred. How can I not be? So let's get into the new stuff and the AI and 3D. Let's dig deep.
Sure. The true groundbreaking thing that we launched in this new, overhaul, is the ability. You're standing on the first tee, or at home for that matter. But you're standing on the first tee and you're looking down the fairway and you're seeing those trees on the left. You're seeing that bunker on the right, and you're seeing, kind of distances, your carry distances pop up in the field of view. So, hey, it's 225 to the left bunker. It's, 42 to carry that left bunker. And it's very obvious. If you walk or drag your finger down the fairway, the view starts to change. And so you're able to see, better able to see what's up in front of you. So, this is the first time someone's actually been able to. It's always been we've tried to make our whole imagery 3D and try all those things, but this is the first time you've actually had a real immersive experience, when you're out there playing. And if you actually, in the setup process, if you actually put in your club distances, obviously in your mind, hey, I hit my driver between this range, I hit my irons, my wedges, blah, blah, blah. If you put that in, you can actually almost play around a golf, preview around a golf on a course that maybe you're going to go play, and it'll show you your club distances and where you would land. So it's really interesting. It's I can really see this. If you're going to play your buddy's member guest, or you're a junior golfer, a high school golfer, and you haven't played a course, I mean, why would you not spend a half hour, pre-playing this course? Oh, I don't need driver on this hole. Oh, this is a 3-wood hole. This is just my hybrid off the tee. I've got to really watch out for the left side here.
I hate to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I know when I go to play new courses, I'll go to their website, the course website, and watch the videos of the
Yeah.
holes. Well, this changes that dramatically by being in 3D. And I guess what you're doing is eliminating blind shots,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
What's really up
How
there?
can I go over these trees? Do I have to go around it? What's on the other side of this dog leg? How far do I have to get to it? I mean, that's remarkable. Great information.
Again,
Amazing information.
it's that intelligence, it's that playing
Yeah.
smarter, and that confidence, right? Like when you're standing on that tee unsure of what's up there, and you're just like, I'll hit my, nah, most of us, I'll hit my driver, you know and then you get up there and like, oh man, right over this bunker is the water and I couldn't see it, and or everything funnels down to the right, and now I'm blinded, I'm blocked by a tree. That shouldn't happen again. Like, so you could take a different line or use a different club just by standing on the tee box because you have this new information.
Tell me about some of your competitors that you look to and go, that's a good idea. Wow.
Well,
Or
I would
you
like to
just,
say we thought of everything first, but no,
well, you were
we've been
first.
in the game so long. I've been asked this a number of times, how come you guys don't have, it's that question.
Right. Oh, okay.
And we focus on the on-course experience. We focus on golf, better, smarter, faster, just score lower, all those things. What we have chosen not to do, and some of our competitors do and do very well, is the sense of community. It's the crap talking, it's the banter back and forth, leaderboards, and things like that. Being able to post you around to social media, all those different things. We did a lot of that very early on. So in 2011, 12, 13, when we were doing stuff before Facebook, right, that was community driven, and we realized it just wasn't, at the time, it wasn't who we were. And so we focused on the on-course golf experience. But there's some great apps out there, that provide a really, different service on the social side.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, we always go back and revisit things. But right now we've chosen to invest our time and R&D into things like this that makes your playing experience better while you're out there with this, new 3D view. And, one of the other things we just launched is the fairway view, which you can toggle back and forth. If you want to look at more of a traditional view, we used to have, kind of a traced, hole imagery like you'd see on a sim. And then that was it, but in our most recent launch, we actually now included the actual true imagery on the surround. So now you're able to see the buildings, and I'm sure you're looking at it right now, but it gives you another layer and another piece of information. And that was technically definitely a challenge what we did there. And it looks easy, you're looking at it now, but to make that work was definitely technically challenging, but it's very cool. Right. So now, and we've got a target, right? So a tap target on every hole. And so now, as we don't always hit the ball down the middle of the fairway, right? So now all of a sudden you're able to see, you're in the other fairway, you're actually able to see it. You're able to see what's in between, and you're still able to get distance back to the hole. And hopefully you have an errant drive, you tug one a little bit, and you're actually able, whatever, I'm only 178, and you hit it up on or near the green, and wow, I just got out of the scene with a bogey or a par instead of a double like we normally get.
You're right. I am looking at the app as we're talking, and I queued it up to the hole right next to my backyard here. There you have a lot of different buttons on the screen. You've got the center of the green, to the front, to the back. You have a 2D button and a 3D button.
Right.
You want to explain those?
Yeah, the 3D is the view that we discussed. This is the new
Yeah.
groundbreaking, view, this, immersive view from the tee box or the fairway. But not everybody wants to work in that view, and so we allow you to go back and see we call it the 2D view that has the, the imagery surround with the traced hole in the middle. And so it's super helpful there.
Also, you have a compass, a camera button, an airplane button. And what is the airplane button?
That's our flyover.
For flyovers?
And
so you can
it flies over in that immersive 3D experience. And it would use the cool thing, if you don't even want to play around with it, we talked about previewing a course and playing around. If you hit the flyover button, it's actually going to take, if you fill in your club distances, and let's say it's a 420-yard par 4, and you hit your driver 250, it's going to show your 250 driver where it would land, and then it's going to show what club you would hit in towards the green. So you actually really quickly could flow through 18 holes and show what clubs you would hit based on your own averages.
Wow. And then you've got a button for club selection, which I'm running right through now.
Yeah, club tracking. That would be what, if you wanted to track your clubs, more Arcos-like.
Right. And what I kind of like about this, it's not asking, well, what kind of club are you playing?
Right.
It's like, why is that relevant?
It's not. It's only about
it's
you.
Not.
Do you want to fill it in?
It's like, it's like, hey, scan this. And it's like, it's okay, fine. So does it make clubs choices for you? Does it tell you, look, you're based on your past, I think you should be hitting your 8-iron here, blah, blah, blah.
So no, and there's a reason for that.
Okay.
That is illegal. Real time club recommendation while playing around a golf is not legal with the USGA.
Oops.
So we've stayed out of it, right? We don't want to provide that. It allows you to show where your club would land if you hit a club, but it does not. It's not going to suggest clubs.
Right.
We've had it before, and then we ended up pulling it out.
Yeah, for that very reason.
Yeah, I mean, there's a balance between, making sure that you're rules compliant.
Yeah.
And providing a golfer with the tools to have more fun. Like some people just don't. Right. Hey, I'm not out here. I'm not trying to win the low gross here at at the state, amateur level. I'm just trying to go out and have fun with my pals. And, I want to make sure that the app has an experience that allows them to just enjoy themselves.
So I just love this. Oh, look at all these little things that I've just turned on by hitting the settings button. That's a lot of information. Okay. So
you take it. Yeah.
I love that you talk about playing smarter because you know who we are.
Yeah.
And that's, hopefully it's not just the name of the show.
Am I able to use that? Like, am I going to get a lawsuit in the mail here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A cease and desist is already on the way, unless you want to sign an NDA. Or I'll trade you if you want to use my voice going, it's Uncle Fred.
Yeah, it's Uncle Fred.
Remember. It's Uncle Fred. Remember, you don't want to, don't putt from this far away off the green.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Tell me, so GolfLogix, one word, LOGIX, GolfLogix.com, in your favorite app store. What are the costs involved starting it free?
The beauty of what we offer, and we put our money where our mouth is we offer free. So you download the app. Like you said, you can go into the Apple App Store or the Android Play Store. You can go, online. If you do it on your phone, you can check out all the different features, and then we have buttons that'll take you right into your respective store. And then we actually give you a trial when you're out there on the golf course. So you're going to get to see the immersive 3D experience. You're going to get to see the 3D flyovers, the new imagery with the satellite surround, and you're going to see all the touch point distances and the green reading, all those things. And then, at the end of that trial, we give you a 7-day trial. If you decide to, stay on and sign up, that's amazing. If you don't, you're always going to get distance to the middle of the green and you're going to get, the imagery of the hole. You just won't have some of the, those higher end features.
Awesome.
But it's $69.99 a year, and
quite reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a round of golf.
It's a round of golf, and for all these things, and anybody that tends to wager a bit, it's not much, right? You make that one putt, and you may pay for the whole membership.
Right, and you'll get that putt because of getting the green read on this. Amazing, Pete. Real happy for you, dude. And since you call me Uncle Fred, I'll say I'm real proud of you too. And I love having you back on and catching up together. This is a great product, and I highly recommend it. So thanks so much for coming back and updating us.
Of course, and I'm sure we're going to have something in another couple years, and I'll be blessed enough to come back on your show and talk about it again.